back, and I'm so happy to be on set with my girls.
Yay!
Lady A, how does it feel?
Oh, it feels so good. You're missed, though.
Yeah, you too.
And I missed us,
You
honestly.
know?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
up?
yeah.
Hey, Madam TikTok. Madam TikTok.
I'm happy to be here.
Okay, I hope we're safe today.
Oh, you are safe. You know,
Okay.
I'm innocent.
Innocentia.
So innocent today. I'm going to be so cool. And because I have doctor here to do all the work, because here we have a gentleman here, finest doctor. Doctor is here, Kelly Daniels. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome
Good
to
be
the
here.
show.
Yeah.
I hope to have a lot of fun here today.
You will. Trust me.
And
You
fun
will be-
you shall have.
You will have
I
fun.
hope that we don't go fire today.
I hope I'm safe though.
You are safe. You are very, very safe.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we will be back after this break, and then I'll introduce our discussion to you. Don't go. Thanks for staying with us. You know that it's a pleasure to always grace your sets. Today we are looking at why do people stay in toxic relationships, and I mean why are you, if you are staying in a toxic relationship. We are trying to dissect the topic and find out various reasons for which you could be staying in a toxic relationship. So I'll start with Doc, since he's new on our set. Welcome again.
Thank you.
Doc, why do you think people stay in toxic relationships?
Well, thank you. What is a toxic relationship? Why is it called a toxic relationship? A relationship, first of all, is supposed to be a communication, a mutual, convenient communication between two people. As long as they are communicating right, they are having a relationship. A toxic relationship is anything that's against the purpose of the relationship.
Yeah.
So two people come together to say, let's begin to relate because of this. The purpose is always bigger than the people involved. And so if this is a relationship, this is why we are in this relationship. That's why I always say to people, define the why. What is the why? Why are we here? So if we understand the purpose of a relationship, the next thing to ask is, how do we want to achieve this? Anything against what we have agreed to be together, whatever it is, even if it is ice cream, even if it is a plane ticket, as long as it doesn't help what we have agreed to be together, it's a toxic relationship. It is toxic from one person, but sometimes also it could be both people toxic to each other. Regardless, anywhere there's toxicity, it's called a toxic relationship. Now, why do people stay in relationships that are toxic? The primary reason people stay in relationships that are toxic is because they are convinced, they believe, they are assured, they psych themselves to say that it's going to get better. As long as they convince themselves that it's going to get better, nobody can convince them otherwise. They could be beaten, broken, battered, abused, whatever else. As long as they still believe this man will change, this woman will change, this circumstance will change. Because sometimes it may not be the man or the woman. It could be influences, family, from one side or the other. It could be a job. A job can make a relationship toxic. Now, I love you, and you know that I love you, and I know that you love me too. But I've got a kind of career that takes me away from you 99% of the time. That is a toxic relationship if you find it uncomfortable. So whatever it may be, as long as you're uncomfortable with something and it's not being fixed, it's a toxic relationship.
I like the fact that you are saying as long as you're uncomfortable with something.
Right.
So let me come to Lady A. Doc mentioned purpose. And he mentioned the fact that people stay in toxic relationships because they think it would be better. But there are others who know actually that it wouldn't get better, but they still stay. Why?
I wonder. Well,
Because they know, especially the elder generation, they know that it won't get better, but they are staying because of this or that. Why are they staying?
So I think that most, and in this case, I think I'll speak for women. I think that most women would stay in toxic relationships because one, if they have children, most women will stay. Their excuse will be that, oh, for the children's sake, and also because they don't have security, probably financially. So, in as much as the relationship is not everything they hope or are aspiring for, they will stay because it gives them financial security or balance. So they will stay. And yes, they live in denial. So they are giving excuses for things that they themselves know that it's not good for them. Because if being in a toxic relationship means physically, it affects you physically, emotionally, and all that, but they still will stay for these reasons. I think that these two main reasons will be one of the reasons why they stay, and then also because of what society would say. For those that value and cherish being with somebody as such a big deal, they wouldn't want to walk away because they feel that would be termed as a failure. So then they will stay and cover up for whatever situation they find themselves in. So yeah, I think that these are some of the reasons why some would stay, in as much as they know. But again, like Doc said, some stay even denying the fact that they are being abused in their relationship emotionally. They are not connecting, but they still stay. Just as a relationship now, so they stay for all these reasons, because na miko jani minim de meka kofano.
Yeah.
People give these excuses. So for the fear of the unknown, they will just stay in that toxic relationship. So, yeah.
Zip, do you think that from what Lady A is saying, do you think that if somebody enters a relationship, realizes it's toxic, and feels disappointed, it could be a reason for just staying because they know that, okay, maybe when I go anywhere else, it could be the same. And society too enables that.
All right, so let me start by saying that trauma bonding is an unhealthy relationship. Trauma bonding is a psychological response to abuse. And this abuse can come in so many forms. It could be financial, emotional, physical. All right. And in most cases, you find the person being abused even in support of what the person abusing him or her is doing. Because in their heads, they are like, okay, maybe I did this. It was my fault. That's why he did that to me or she did that to me. Some will also say, oh, he loves me, she loves me, regardless. Another person will also say, if I leave, where else will I go? Maybe the next person I go for will just be like this or even worse. So let me stay. Okay. Now, you will realize that you are in an abusive relationship when, let's say, someone tries to even talk you out of it and you get hostile. You can see that this person is being abused and you are helping him or her out, and you rather become the third person. Or you are making excuses for the abuse. Oh, and yes, I'm not here. It's because I did this, that's why. Or because, he's not in a good mood, or she's not in a good mood. And until now, all you say. Do you understand? So, but one thing we have to also realize is that people find comfort in their partners, people find emotional support, financial support. So these things coming together, even if I realize that you are abusing me, I have realized that, oh, I'm in a trauma bonding situation. I can't leave. How will I leave? Because even after whatever, I'll still come back to you for support.
Yeah,
I'll still come back to you for comfort. You understand? For money. Do you
As
understand?
for the women, it's more like the money,
Yes,
money,
and
money.
for women, our problem is money.
Yeah, it's the money.
In most cases, it is financial. You can't leave because of the money. You can't leave because of the comfort.
Women empowerment.
When we say women, a man was sick about or bad the bema sika ayede.
What's that?
Or bad the bema sika ayede. It's your musika ni di.
Yes, sana nyame ye.
Yes, your musika ni.
I was so bema bread. No nyet sika no de be fi.
Exactly. So you realize that when you are in a toxic relationship with someone, it is not just easy to leave. You can't just get up and leave.
Yeah.
It takes a whole process.
Okay. And sometimes when you look, sorry to cut you, but sometimes they look back and then they look at how far they've come. And
Exactly.
they're like, so am I leaving all this?
Maybe we've been in a relationship for like 10 years.
And then
we've
we're not
struggled.
even
We
like
didn't even
this.
have money. We've struggled, and now maybe you are abusing me and all that. When I look back, I'm like, I've struggled with this guy or this lady for like 10 years. Why should I just leave? No, be better now. No, baby.
Exactly.
So I'm not going anywhere.
They
Do you
say.
understand? There are people with that kind of mindset. But you see, that's what they call the Stockholm syndrome, where the hostage finds some psychological bonding with the abusive person. Me and baby, I said the meeting.
No, but that one, they love the person. It's like you are in love with the person. The person has control over you because you don't see them. You know they are doing wrong, but you are in love with the person. Let me bring Doc in here.
But before you bring Doc in, I'm sorry, son. She, we're talking about toxic relationship, and she touched on the issue of abuse.
Bonding,
But there's also emotional harm. Emotionally, because it's a relationship. You can be affected emotionally with somebody. I mean, your emotions can be, at risk if you are in a toxic relationship. Your mental health is at risk with toxic relationship because you lose yourself.
And we live in a country where people don't go for therapy.
You lose yourself in a toxic relationship. Emotionally, you're not balanced in a toxic relationship. Abuse is one of the things that one goes through when you are in a toxic relationship. So there's more to the effects you even have in being in a
But do they even realize they are in a toxic relationship? Do they even
lack of
realize that
trust.
So
emotionally they are not even something is happening to them emotionally?
Because if you're in a toxic relationship, you don't have trust.
Would you say that they know they are in a
party.
toxic relationship? Is it easy for everybody to know that I'm in a toxic relationship? My relationship is different from others, or it's the same thing everybody is going through, so let me endure.
Okay, there are two types of toxicity. One is intentional, and the other is unintentional. Maybe aware or perhaps unaware, regarding what you want to choose. Let me mention to you an aware relationship, which is toxic. Sorry, an unaware relationship, which is toxic. Forgive my French, a woman who is a street walker, who marries an armed robber, who goes out there getting clients for the armed robber. That's not a toxic relationship to them. That's a fantastic relationship. A dream come true. A person who compliments you. Is that what relationship is about? Now, we know it's a toxic relationship, but they are not aware, or it doesn't move them that it's a toxic relationship. So he's not moved that she has multiple partners or multiple clients, because as for in his mind, they are his clients. And she's not bothered about how many people he kills or deprives of their livelihood. That is a toxic relationship based on all of us here on this table. But for them, that's the purpose of the relationship. Now, that's an unaware toxic relationship. A toxic relationship, like I said...
Would the situation have been different if the lady was not a prostitute, but the guy is an armed robber or a fraud guy?
She might not mind.
The girl is being
used
might
not mind.
To dupe.
Exactly. She might not mind. You see, toxicity is a thing of... That's why I said anything that is against one, is against all. That relationship is under attack.
Whether you are aware or not.
Another an aware or unaware situation is where you marry a banker. You know you married a banker. You thank God for the banker. 2 years later, he says he's now a pastor. You didn't prepare for a pastor. You were now coming to become Osofmami overnight. You're like, guy, I didn't prepare for this lifestyle. No matter how holy he is, no matter how much miracles, signs, and wonders come from this man, to you it's toxic. That's not the life you wanted to live. You wanted to walk with your husband and seashore with your bikini. You can't do that anymore because you are
a
pastor's wife. You can't do so. For you, that's a toxic relationship.
Exactly. And have him to yourself anytime you want.
You can't have him.
People will call him.
He is other people's father.
Yeah.
He is other people's brother. He is other people's husband. Can you deal with that? If you can't, that's a toxic relationship. Even if he's a good man, oh, what has he done? You can't see anything he's done. Because everybody knows he's a good man. You know he's a good man, but he's not available to you as you envisage.
You are bitter.
So that's a toxic relationship. Right. So it varies. But a real toxic relationship, like what I suppose we're talking about here, is about when it's causing someone to be less of who they are.
Yeah.
But I think perpetual bitterness is also very traumatic.
Perpetual.
Like we are saying, if you don't want to be a pastor's wife and you're a pastor's wife, you will not be happy.
Exactly.
And anything that deprives you of your happiness is really
I know about
toxic.
a situation where she said, you know what? I can't stop you from doing what you say God told you to do. But me, I'm at home.
That's it.
Do whatever you like. I give you my support. I'm here waiting for you. But don't get me involved. I will ruin what you're doing.
Yeah.
So the best way I can support you is to let you be while I'm at home. When you come, my husband is back. When you are away, you are a pastor.
That's interesting.
Exactly. And they've been for 12 years now. She's never been a part of his ministry whatsoever. I mean, she does because the church with herself.
They were together before he was called.
Yeah. And she says, this new life, I don't understand. If we started, if you approached me and said, oh, I'm a pastor and I want to marry you. If I said yes, I would have prepared for it to enhance what you have been called to do. But we started from school. We've already planned how we would do life. And then you bring this destroys your original plan. So toxicity varies. It varies regardless of how you want to look
would
at
you
it.
blame someone for trauma bonding?
Blame? I'm not sure your problem.
Would you blame the person? Because let's take this Cassie issue, for example. And that's quite latest. You realize that people are blaming her for staying in for long. Sometimes I fall for it. It's like, yeah, I think she stayed for too much. Maybe she stayed for the money and all. At other times I'm thinking, okay, trauma bonding is serious, more than we think, and we don't know how it feels like. What do you think?
I think that if initially she wasn't even aware, eventually she became aware of what she was involved in. And so I think that it was a decision she had to make to either stay or leave. I don't know, but I've also had that argument with people where they felt that, oh, at some point she now was enjoying it.
That's where the trauma bonding comes in.
Yes, she was enjoying it. So to now come back and say that, oh, you knew it. So initially, even if you didn't, now you got to know at some point, and you chose to stay because you kept going back. So you chose to stay. So it means that you were enjoying.
So you are saying So you are saying that, or people think that if you stay and blame trauma bonding, you are partly to blame.
You are partly to blame
you are aware, but you are
it's an individual choice and decision you make. Trust me, it is different when you're not aware.
Irrespective of the figures we are talking about, personalities. And it's
when,
not even Didi alone. You know, I'm saying this because you could be married to somebody who is powerful or very wealthy, and then the person has control over you and your life and your finances, and you know how pathetic your life will be when you leave, but the person is not treating you well. And then you choose to stay.
My
because
dear, to each their own. Peace of mind is everything.
Over everything.
Peace of mind. So that's what I'm saying. It's an individual choice you make and a preference. Because where do you want to see yourself in the next 10 years? Still bottled up in some relationship that you're not happy and there's money, but I say, Sikan would be crash so won't like you're not happy and all that. So it's a personal preference.
Are we
for
not
me.
those who say it's better to cry
Because
in the Lambo
Nima,
than to be walking in
The
church for
origin of toxicity is poverty. Poverty is in different dimensions
Yeah.
and
That's it.
manifestations. Poverty could mean lack of money. Poverty could mean lack of health. Poverty could just mean the lack of something, period. Poverty could just be the lack of a right mindset. When you know that you don't have a certain lifestyle, and this person is giving you this lifestyle, you may be prone to staying.
Yeah.
Because, okay, if I leave this guy, how do I live from here to here for my peace of mind? Let me redefine what
Or
peace
if
of
I
mind
leave this
means.
woman, because some men too are staying because
No,
of the
either
woman's
either
money.
ways. If I leave, if I call this the definition of peace of mind, and I'm not getting it, but I'm getting something I'm not sure I can get somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
I have a redefinition of what peace of mind is, and just stay.
redefinition.
Redefinition. We're
For
defining that
instance,
here.
you have had your sexual escapades you know your stuff. You then marry a
Somebody.
person who just say,
bothered.
what is this?
Oh my God!
What is the name of this thing between your legs? What is this? This is not what I settled for.
That's right. But that's what you are.
But then you can get so and so, which you know is hard to find. You then sacrifice your personal pleasures and fantasies to the reality of enjoying or enduring what you now have to be the best you can ever have.
Yes.
So that's why I said to you now is no longer toxic. It's resetting your mindset to say, this is the best I can get, so I'm staying here. Especially with, there are women who would want a man to beat them
That's what they say.
before they make love to them. They will look for trouble.
And there are men who want same.
And the man, yes.
There are men who even want you to step on their backs with your high heels.
slap
It
them,
turns
beat
on.
them. Then there are some people when they are
You have to
about
give
to
them some
manifest, they bite you.
Yes, that is
Manifest.
They bite you. That's the best manifestation.
I love
when you're about
I love
to
the choice of words.
release the impartation, you bite. That's to show that you are there. There's a
Dr.
woman
Daniels
who
will
showed
not kill
me-
us on this section.
showed me her
Yeah,
skin,
people
all
have
of
some
scratches
weird-
all
Oh
over
my
the place.
God.
I said, oh, they are my fetishes.
Fetish, yeah.
I'm like, did a lion catch you in the jungle or
Yeah,
something?
near
I said,
there,
no,
yeah.
it's at home. It's love. They are my love marks. Hey,
Love bites.
so I left her like that in peace.
In peace, not in peace.
Because see, you cannot help someone who doesn't see
Yeah.
the necessity for help.
Exactly.
Until they see that where they are and what they are doing and who they are with is a toxic personality or the relationship is toxic, you can't convince them otherwise. As long as they are happy, the best you can do for them
But
from
they
a
will
distance.
tell you that if they leave, the person will do it with someone else.
That's what I'm saying. So just leave them. I mean,
So
as
like
long
they
as they are
didn't-
not
So
complaining.
sang.
She started enjoying it.
Because you don't want the person
let
to
me
go
let me
somewhere.
come to what Lady A was saying about Cassie and PDD's issue. I beg to differ. I am on the other side of that discussion.
Which is your opinion?
Yes.
Let's see it.
I want people to understand that trauma bonding, the Stockholm syndrome, no, it is very deep. If you don't really understand it, that is where you start asking, why didn't she leave? And as she realized that she was being abused and she still stayed. Oh, she left and she still came back. If you understand what that does to your mind, you see, let's say you meet a man and you are like 16 or 15, and he introduces you to drugs, sex, sex parties, beating,
Alcohol. Those
alcohol, cocaine, and then luxury shopping, sometimes some pampering. At some point, that will register in your mind
I do.
that this is love. this is the ideal love. You will even think that this is what everyone is enjoying in their secret places. This is how it is. And let's not forget that there are people who also grew up without love. They didn't grow up with love. So when they get hooked onto someone, whatever that person introduces them to,
It's what it is.
sticks with them.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
It sticks with them.
And I think just not to cut in, but I think that sometimes too, they don't even start with the bad. Sometimes the good times you have to a certain level.
That
My
is why
dear, when this bad side starts
imagine
coming
a man flying you to Dubai, buying you luxury stuff.
and everything.
You are sleeping in Burj Khalifa. You come back home, there's a Range Rover. And then a ninja crowd to me talk like Lexus back home.
Let's show.
What you say? That because of Tia or Yano natural say or flying back to US.
Yeah.
And then at some point, he gives you a slap.
Or sometimes they don't talk to you. I've seen people
Yes.
come to court for divorce because they have not been talking. Their spouses don't talk to them.
It's a
for
form of
6 years.
It's a form of punishment. They ignore you.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you going to leave such a person? That is where you yourself you start blaming yourself. Oh, because I did that. That is why he's a nice person. Oh, he's not always like this.
In fact, you might tell someone and the person will be like, oh, but your husband is so good. He bought you a Lexus.
Exactly.
He flies you to you the way now.
Exactly. It's okay. Just cover the bruises with makeup and let's go. Do you understand? We need to understand that these things, that's why it's a psychological thing. It's not easy to leave such a situation. Okay? Right. Your life depends on this person. It takes a whole lot of process, a deep process to get you out. That was why I even mentioned that in some cases when you try to advise such people, you become a third person. Let's say your husband hits you. You call the police out of anger. In some cases, the police will get there. The person will even say, oh, nothing happened. Nothing happened. But you just call the police. Oh, we were just playing and... Do you understand? So it takes, and these things, it takes years. They work on your mind for years. So you can't just wake up and say, I'm leaving. In some cases, you will leave and still come back.
Oh, yeah. Multiple times.
It will shock you. You will leave and miss how you were slapped and then
when he comes to even beg, you just run back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you remember... Please, let me just say this. When you remember how you were slapped and just given a doggy, a hot doggy, you will go back.
Zipporah will not kill me.
Exactly. You were beating. And when you realize that, you are not happy and all that, okay, let me take you, let me fly you to Dubai, let me shop for you, let me buy you these designers and all that, you will get happy. And let's also establish this point that when such abusive persons render these cycles of abuse, they later get remorseful. They get remorseful.
Or pretend.
They will come and, oh, I am sorry. You know I'm not like this. I was angry. Oh,
you made me angry.
Yes, you made me
They
angry. This thing you did,
You
pushed me.
You pushed me.
You
to
pushed
do
me.
this
You did. You know
that.
I'm not. You know.
So then
you, know,
you start to feel sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know
That,
I love
Kenya
you.
will now
Flipping
hear
the
ya,
script.
yes, sir.
Exactly. You
But
know,
that's just an excuse.
oh, son, you know I love you. You know I love you. You know I treat you well.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this thing you did made me do that. In your mind, this man or this woman really loves me. But because I did this or I did that, that's why he's being abusive towards. Okay, so I need to do better. Hey, and I should do better. I should stop doing this so that he'll stop doing that to me. Okay, it's not just easy to leave.
Yeah.
You need help. You need a solid support system to get you out of an abusive relationship. And let me also establish that abuse is not just about husband and wife or relationships. There are children who get abused by caretakers, by nannies as they grow up, in so many forms. Even with our parents, there are parents who are abusive. But because they are taking care of us, they are giving us some comfort. You
have
can't
no
leave.
option.
Where are you leaving to?
Yeah, I'll have to cut in here. We have to take a quick break. When we come back, our discussion continues with something on relationship. Don't go away. discussions behind the scenes, I beg it, overwhelming. And it tells you that this topic is really something worth discussing. So before we move to our other topic, let's look at some of the factors. There is fear of the unknown, which I think we also touched on through the finances. Then we've mentioned trauma bonding, low self-esteem and self-blame. Would you want to touch on that briefly, Doc? Low self-esteem and self-blame.
Low self-esteem comes from the background of the person. There are people who just want to leave their parents' house just to marry. And so leaving the house, marriage is the escape for them.
Yeah.
Marriage could also be an escape for somebody who thinks that when she gets married, she'll be sorted.
That's right.
You see, there are two people who think that marriage is good for them. A man who feels, you see, anytime when somebody says, I just want to settle down, that's what they feel is due for them. An average man gets married because he has money or he has something that makes him feel he needs to be served by a woman. An average man wants to be served. So in his mind, it's time to be served, period, by one particular person perhaps.
And that's in society.
Yes. Now, in the average woman's mindset, she is getting married to be treated like a queen. There's not soft life, period. That's what an average woman goes in for. Oh, I have taken care of myself enough. Now I want a man who will take care of me. Both mindsets are so wrong, regardless of how you want to look at it.
I say that
because
sometimes.
Marriage is not
I
for
say that
settlement.
sometimes, like, I'm tired of spending my
Nah.
own money. Somebody should also come and...
It's because you see it as his money and not your money. Once you see that what you earn is also his, you will not have that kind of mindset to get
Yeah.
married. So people who have that mindset is a toxic beginning. And so unfortunately, men see women who are willing to serve them, and women see who are willing to take care of them, and they're in that relationship and they are fine, but it's toxic. You get what I'm
I
saying?
think that's being with you benefits me. He also thinks that being
So
with
it's
her-
fine.
Yeah.
So, but that's not the original intent
Yeah,
of marriage.
That's all. That's at all.
Marriage's originality is for people to know what they can do with themselves to better
The other person.
the world. Not even themselves. Every marriage is sent on a mission to change the world, period. That was God's
Oh, then
original
we are really
plan
failing at this.
of yes.
Or that are we changing
Most
it?
of us are
Most
failing
marriages
have
have-
failed
yeah.
at that.
Have failed.
So marriage is not for you. Marriage is not for me. Marriage is for you and I to come together to see how we can put our forces together to change society, to change the world. So the results we get from that is what makes us call ourselves a fulfilled marriage. There's a difference between a happy marriage and a fulfilled marriage. A happy marriage is a self-centered marriage where you are happy and I'm happy and that's it. A fulfilled marriage is that we understand what we should both do for God, kingdom, and society. When society sees that we are influencing them to be better out there, that's what should give us joy. But most people don't even think about this. In fact, this must be strange in people's ears right now. Like, what's this guy talking about?
Yeah,
But that's the
help us
essence of marriage. That's the essence of marriage. But many people think marriage is for them. That's why they call it settling down. They don't settle in marriage. You sign to work.
It's time to settle.
No, you don't settle. You sign. That thing you are signing is work. That is a
That
certificate
is what
to
people
go
don't
into
know.
work.
It's hard work. You are
Because now
signing to
you're
go and
about to
work.
be selfless for the rest of your life. The most selfish time you have in your life by privilege is singleness. Once you sign that thing, oh my God, you don't have a life of your own
yourself.
anymore.
Yeah.
Whether he loves you or he doesn't love you, love is the demonstration of consistent, loyal work.
Exactly.
Period. Until you are always selfless, you are not loving enough. The disadvantage here is that you are willing to give in the work. The other person is waiting to be served.
That's the thing. So you're not
The
in
other
tune.
person is taking care of you. You don't want to.
Take care of them.
Yes, that's the point. So how can you then project who you are to the outside world? It's not possible. Don't forget that anything we are becomes a generational propensity. In other words, whatever we are, we reproduce. You cannot have beautiful children with a certain mindset if we don't have that mindset. So if we are the way we are, and we reproduce children, we cannot reproduce far from our kind.
Yeah.
At all.
A fruit never falls far away from the tree. It's
They
not
grow up,
possible.
they watch you.
So
They
you
see you.
reproduce yourself. If you have anger issues, don't frown when your child begins to throw tantrums at 5. He is replicating where he's from, his source. So that's why I said, what's the purpose of this relationship? Where are we going with this marriage? What do we want to achieve
But
with this
people
marriage?
don't discuss those things.
That's the fundamentality
They
of
just
courtship.
see a beautiful
not-
girl and they like her, that's it. And the girl
Beauty-
too sees the money and that's
The
it.
real beauty is in understanding why we are in it and we are excited to achieve it. That's beauty. Every other thing
And
is
then
an
as you
added
go along, they realize
complement.
that things are changing and they don't even know.
But that's why
They
people
don't know
feel
you.
disappointed
Most
in
people
relationships.
get divorced on the year they get married.
Exactly, because of the
They
expectations
just
have. They never
cohabit for the
discuss.
rest of their lives or as long as that marriage can take them. But they
Yeah.
actually got divorced on the year of their marriage. Because you see, when you start, that's why there's a difference between dating sex and marriage sex.
Period.
Dating sex is the sweetest thing you can ever think about, I mean, in life.
True.
Once you get, it's like stolen waters. Stolen waters are sweet. You get what I'm
Somebody
saying?
sent you a video yesterday about
Once,
this.
oh,
When
really?
it becomes yours,
Once you get married, it's boring.
Yeah.
It's like work. Oh, the first 6 months, harder. You hit it
Doggy,
harder.
doggy.
Oh, right there. Don't move. Right there. That's how I want it. After 6 months,
Forget it.
I'm tired. Can we do this later?
Later.
Okay, you know I just finished cooking.
Like
have
it's
a
boring.
You that when you started, whilst you are cooking, you are bending over, holding the kitchen cabinet
stove.
That was
to
the
receive.
excitement period.
Exactly.
When the
Now it
reality
becomes a
hits.
chore.
So that's what he said.
Chore.
So the dating sex is the best. It's the awesome time of
I
your
didn't
relationship.
send you.
Now
I
you
didn't
send
see.
me.
I just said
Now you send
from
me.
people's, statistics.
yeah.
It's true.
But I wanted to find out trauma history. Do you think that people who have experienced it before are more prone to experiencing it again in terms of the toxic relationship? Like maybe someone once said that if you date a narcissist, you could have the tendency of attracting more of that. So if you've ever been in a toxic relationship, do you think there's a tendency that you'll be in another toxic relationship?
Not necessarily. Especially if you walked out knowing that this was toxic for me and I didn't want it, and that is what gave you the
edge.
boldness to walk out. I don't think that you're going to be going back to that, because I feel that anything that wasn't good for you, once you're able to identify it, even when you move on, the right light is there. You always look out for those things and you wouldn't want to go back there again. Personally, there's no way I would go through such an experience with my able mind and soul, and
It's like you
after
see the signs coming.
after seeing everything that I went through that I said I didn't want, and go back for the same thing. Because what is a guarantee? It might even be worse than where you're running away
Yeah.
from. So yes, I think you become more cautious.
Right.
You become more self-aware.
Now let Zip come in here. But I think Doc wanted to chip
You
in
need to
quickly, so
understand something about trauma. A trauma never healed is a trauma multiply repeated.
Multiply repeated. I agree.
If you there's a difference between going through trauma and healing from trauma.
Yeah.
Because you see, narcissists don't show themselves as narcissists from day one.
Day one, yeah.
They are the nicest, compatible
Love
people.
bombs.
So how can you tell?
Tell.
So you can't tell. So you've got to heal from where you were. Enjoy being alone, which many people don't like.
It's very important.
Let's
Must
hit
you
on that.
always be in a relationship every time of your
Exactly.
life?
It's not a relationship
so
that
a
makes you
relationship
happy.
ends, you must enter the next week.
Every
The
no
person who has
way.
been texting
Let
you,
us-
you say hi. Because you want to attract him and say, oh, I'm available now, so you continue.
No.
And then baggage
Baggage.
ends up into baller.
It
And
should.
then
Yeah.
you now marry someone who is a saint, and now you put all
put
of
all
that.
your
And
baggage
especially
to
because
that
they
person.
listen to you, you know, in the knowing
Right.
me, knowing you
Right.
stage. They
Another-
get to know
uh-huh.
all the
That-
things
That-
the other
that's
person did
where I'm
that you
going
didn't
to.
like.
Never
And they'll
ever,
correct
when
it.
a man or a woman asks you, oh, what do you like in a man? It's a very, very wrong thing.
I think you should hold on. I think that will take us to the next topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you see,
So dogs should hold on
all
for
right.
that.
I surrender. I surrender.
Sang, I was on the floor. I'm sorry.
I took it from you for Zipporah. Zipporah was telling
You
you.
took for a while.
Dog, obey steady. Obey steady.
But she has been quiet.
He's quiet.
Let me add to what Dr. Kelly was saying. Especially these young ladies. Let's help you understand that you don't always need to be in a relationship.
Sure.
When you enter into a relationship and it doesn't work out, give yourself time. Give yourself time. Analyze whatever happened in the previous relationship. Work on yourself.
She's not hot enough. If she's single.
Heal. Give yourself time to heal. Sometimes you don't heal, and so you
How
to go.
would they heal? You see, that's the problem. Heal how?
Heal is
She's
talking
home
to people.
and she doesn't know.
No, you don't have to
So
be
let's
home.
teach them
You need
how.
to talk to people. There are a lot of counselors on the social media. If you can't talk to someone in your church or your family, I have strangers calling me all the time on TikTok. Talk to someone. Let them take you through
Madam
them.
Madam,
Hey, Mama say,
Do you understand?
heal you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, you need to talk to someone. Give yourself time. Work on yourself. Give yourself time to learn a skill. Get yourself hooked onto something. Get something to engage you. Let's say you move from one relationship, now you are looking for another man to enter you, then to tell you I love you. Don't you love yourself?
One man to enter you.
But
You are looking for the next person to penetrate. You are always looking for somebody to penetrate. Allow your private part to rest.
to heal.
let it breathe. You know.
But fine, I mean, I totally agree because I can speak to this issue on a personal because we're talking about this toxic relationship. And I mean, you know that I was married at a very young age.
Yeah, you
and
mentioned.
also divorced at a very young age because the relationship just didn't work. And he said something that just hit the nail right on it. When they start, you think they are the most beautiful people on this planet. So you won't see it coming until the red flag, starts flying, and then you see the others. And being in a toxic relationship is not just about somebody abusing you. Emotionally, they torture you. Emotionally, somebody can torture you. Unfun and some count, but emotionally, they will make you feel less of a person. They will have a problem with everything you do. Everything you do is a problem. So somebody starts sticking everything about you. Oh, why are you wearing this? Oh, to the point where they even choose your friends for you. It is not a good relationship.
Or sometimes too, it comes
So
in.
there are so many things.
Sometimes it comes in the form of excessive
and you
admiration for
find that
particular people in your presence.
You find that as him being caring or she being caring, loving you enough to worry about you and all that. Mommy, it's a red flag. But initially you don't see all these things until later. But so common sense can. You just get overwhelmed with everything that is happening so much so that you don't even hear because they say and sano onim se na chi no and na wa oti uja ho so na onim se na hyehyɛ. So if you don't even get that wake up call do ohun ni de ye kan nyina no onse but the ye ka wa bonti na wutia sometimes it might save you the trouble of going into it much deeper than sometimes some others go through. And trust me, obiane ne de but eti wani so a you won't be in a hurry to want to even go into but I think I see a different trend these days. Like Zip and Doctor are saying, free moana or go into another relationship without giving themselves the time to heal and to find themselves. When I walked out of my relationship, it was the time that is when I discovered who I was.
Yes.
Because
self-discovery.
That is healing.
Yes. That is when I discovered who I am. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I discovered who I am. I wanted to jump.
Yeah.
I wanted to do
Yeah,
me.
you want to fly.
Yes, I wanted to do
feel
me.
liberated,
Be a
and
better
free.
person. Because I found myself.
And you didn't have anybody in your life to make you do so. You were enjoying
I was
your
enjoying it,
personal
and
freedom
for me,
to be
I
the
was
best
also a
version of
mother.
yourself.
So
Right.
for all that was worth, my children had to grow up and see me and see a role model in their mother. So there was no limit to where I wanted to go. career-wise, making myself better. Who better to be a role model to my children if not me? So I didn't make that, break me. Rather, it made me, grow up, and it made me a better person. So I think that it's life. It happens. But it is how you pick yourself up and want to, make the
But
best
sometimes
out
they
of
break
it.
you to a certain point. So if you don't
I
exit
agree.
early,
Well,
it becomes, because I've experienced something even in
they will
a
bring you
relation.
to the lowest.
Sang.
No, let me share this. I've experienced that before,
Yeah.
where I'm one person, I'm very confident in myself.
Same here.
And I'm very confident in my looks. And I get a lot of people complimenting me. But I got into a relationship.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel pretty.
That's right.
Because the person made me feel, initially the person was, oh, you are all that. And then suddenly you see the person coming up with certain attitudes, following certain types of girls. And you are
Makes
wondering.
you question yourself.
And then it got to a point where you are walking and you see that type of girl and you are looking at the person like, hey, this person is all that and I'm not all that. And I started saying that, no, this is not me. Because I realized I'm changing. I'm becoming someone different.
Yeah.
And as you said, when I broke out of that relationship, I could fly.
Yeah.
I realized that I didn't care about anything. I had my confidence back and all that. But some do it to a point where the girls can't leave. Or if it's marriage, they won't leave. And then they are stuck in there. Now they won't leave at all because they are stuck. And they feel they are not pretty enough. Nobody wants them out there. Their friends can't even mingle with them. And a whole
So many
lot
things.
of
Let's
stuff.
For a pageant girl
Solutions.
who got married to a guy that's like is all of a sudden trying to make you feel less.
Yeah.
This is your billboards are all over the place. Everybody is giving you compliments, and I'm like, that
You are all that.
You are all that. And then marriage, all of a sudden you are married to somebody who at that time also felt like, oh, you are all this, and that's why I want you to be my wife. And then the same person say, don't work again, don't mingle with these people, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that.
Toxic.
So then all of a sudden you are asking yourself like, but that time you feel like, oh, he wants the best for you. That's why he's doing all that. And so you get that reality check and you realize that, no, this guy is trying to turn you into something you are not. And for me, what made me just get, and maybe God just loves me, to be a momentum, because I told myself one fine day, if I'm going to live in this union for 40 years,
You can't.
is this how I want my life to be?
So you realize that
Do you
were
understand?
in a
Is this
toxic
how I
That
want
is
my life
the
to be?
realization
Yes,
of
that's
what
realize
is
this.
toxic.
That's
So
what
now
I'm saying.
There's somebody else who is so comfortable
Yes.
there to say, yeah, man, then let's
So
just
now that you're married,
stay
then let's
here.
go there. What
Yeah,
should
yeah,
they do?
yeah,
What should they
yeah.
do?
Well,
No,
should
we
be-
have to wrap up. So let's
Saying
let him give
what
a
should
solution.
they do?
Let's
Solution, right?
Yeah.
Solution is first of all realizing, acknowledging,
Yes, that
and
is a problem.
addressing the matter on your own before even involving the
And that's
person.
it.
Because at the end of the day, regardless of how
But
beautiful
how are you realizing?
marriage, no. You know that this is
you know
hurting
this is
you.
not what you want for yourself.
Before you married the person, what do you want to achieve for your life, even if you never get
you
married?
know this is not what we
If
bargained
marriage
for.
never comes, what is your goal in life?
That's
Okay.
right.
Am I living according to the benefits of that
That's
goal,
important.
even now that I'm married?
Okay.
If not, begin to have a self-check and ask yourself
Yeah.
questions. How did I get here?
This is not what you wanted for your life.
If you can tell how you got here, you would know that you slipped at some point, compromised on something, and allowed the norm. So how do you get out of it? Tell yourself, no matter what this offers me, this is not the
gonna walk.
person I want to be.
That's
That's
right.
it.
Period.
Okay.
Bold decision,
And
but
then
you need
begin to
make
take
it.
calculative. It has to be calculative. Otherwise,
Very.
you may not live to tell the story. Because narcissists don't even know that they are narcissists.
True.
It's when they are done with you, they realize what they've done, but they'll do it again if they've not healed. So your exit from that relationship, single or married, has to be very, very calculative.
Do you need to share with someone,
Oh, most
Share
definitely.
with someone.
like your plan or exit plan?
That someone, no.
Don't-
Most of the
don't
time,
share with-
it's to the wrong
Right.
person.
Oh,
Don't-
okay.
Talk
I
to a
don't-
professional, period.
Okay.
I think you
That's
should
it.
talk to a professional about whatever you want to do. Also, don't threaten the person you are leaving.
That's why I said it has to be
That
calculative.
is risky.
Yeah.
No.
People do that and they
Make gyro.
end up getting unalived.
That's why I'm
So
saying you may not
please,
even
yeah.
live to tell the
Don't-
story.
don't.
It's
And-
not anybody's. Just
And also with a toxic relationship, sometimes we think that even using abusive words, it's normal. In some relationships, a partner can insult you
Yeah.
to the point that
that's what he was used to.
Emotional.
You will
Somebody
feel
say your mother,
useless.
and you be like, what? That's how I was just joking. You should have accepted it like
there
that.
are women who will tell you the things their partners tell them. It's wild. The kind of insults they will rain on. So if you're in a relationship or a marriage where your husband or wife continuously uses abusive words, insults on you, please know that it is an abusive relationship. And so if you don't want it, then start taking steps to leave. Talk to people, listen to programs so that you can identify that you are in an abusive relationship, and then you walk away. And when you leave, to make sure that you safe check yourself.
Lady A, your last word.
Your is safe exit.
Safe exit.
Lady A, your last word.
Safe exit. Who plan any Now why exit? Unya at once.
Exactly.
And take that from
Don't
somebody
leave any clue
who is coming
that
from
you are
there.
leaving.
Who can at once.
There was a woman who realized this is it for me. She planned her exit to America for 3 years. He just told her, I'm going to play golf. And she said, yo. He came back and no trace of hair had been, unknown to him, she had been taking things out, taking things out. So the last exit was just maybe a bag or two, and that was it.
Be tactful.
He looked for her all over the world. She had already gotten to JFK.
So I think that in planning your safe exit, you need to also prioritize your self-care. It's very important. Very important. You need to be self-aware of everything that's, I mean, you're lucky if you identify your challenge, but at the end of the day, or mental health and all that, because you shouldn't be in a relationship where you question yourself all the time. Oh, why did I do this? Oh, and you're even asking, who is this person you're living with? When you start asking yourselves these questions, you should know that where you are is not good for you. So you need to be self-aware of all these things. And there's nothing wrong with exiting and starting all over again. But you need to also tell yourself, because for those that are emotionally, abused, they don't see anything good in themselves. And so your self-worth becomes a problem even when you exit. So you need to take time to heal and work on yourself. And don't feel bad about it. And don't be too hard on yourself that, oh, this didn't work. You are saving yourself from a lifetime of trauma.
You can also speak to a therapist.
And talk to a therapist. You need it. Because sometimes the people you think you are talking to, because maybe they are experienced, or even in church, some of the counselors that you speak to might not be the one that would really help you. So in talking to people, you need to be very mindful of who you are talking to, so that you can seek help from somebody. But you need to talk to somebody about it.
Right. For me, I'll touch on the finances. I think financial empowerment is very key. Sometimes you stay there, or more often than not, you stay because you don't have money. Or the money you have cannot afford you the lifestyle that you want. But to stay because there is luxury at the expense of your life and your happiness, I think is not good. So in all things, make sure that you are financially secure. Not too much, but at least enough to get you probably a roof over your head, or to get you transportation back to your father's house, or whatever.
Prosperity is not sexually transmitted.
Exactly. When
Make
I write
your
this
own
thing,
money.
Make your
exactly.
No,
Make your
how
own
small
money.
it
Be
is.
content
For
with
me,
what you can make
Son,
for
I
yourself.
agree with you, but no.
Marrying a rich person doesn't make you a rich person.
Doesn't make you a rich
You only
person.
have access to the rich person.
Son, I remember
The
before
date
we rolled the
relationship is
cameras,
over,
I was
you are
telling
done.
you might be
walk away
comfortable.
with zilch.
Zero.
You might be comfortable and everything, but if you look at that, you will die.
Yeah.
So
if you leave and you are not going to drive,
once you see
you
that
will
this is
be fine.
not a place for you, walk, whether you have 10 cities or not. I mean, person may come after, but I'm just saying that it shouldn't be the reason why you stay. I also say that, especially if some people will say because of my children, but for the same children, make that bold decision. Because
and I'm saying this because maybe you want to go back to your parents' house. You don't have transportation.
But you are even lucky your parents have a house. You can go and stay there.
To go back. All I'm saying, lady, I'm wrapping up, please. All I'm saying is that make sure, and you know yourself, make sure you have just a little amount of money you know as backup. You know, women can keep money somewhere that they know that, oh, I have this 100 cedis that when I'm ready, I'm going to take, and then as he said, somebody plans the exit beautifully and they live. Or you decide that, okay, even if I don't have 1 cedi, I can still live. But by all means, Don't stay because you are not financially secure. That is what I want to hammer on. By all means, don't stay because you are
Dear
not
women,
financially
let's fight
secure.
for financial independence.
We take a quick break. When we come back, we move to our many thanks for staying with us, and we just go straight to our hack, and Zipporah is helping us with that.
All right, so our hack for the day, if you have a shoe that's big, you feel it's big, just get a sanitary pad, okay? A long one, and just put it in it, and voila, you'll be fine. If it's a shoe and maybe it's too tight at the toes, you can just cut your sanitary pad and just put it there like that.
Relieving.
Yeah. And
Sanitary
you'll be-
pad.
Please, yes,
I see.
In
sanitary
your full
pad.
shoe,
It's
so
fluffy.
foaming.
Yeah,
So
it
it's not just
will
for
give
the
you
use
some.
of-
No, it
it
will
has
give you some
different-
That's why it's a
comfort.
hack.
Some, we do our research and we come with the,
Hey, please give it to our producer, Lako. Thank you. Thank you for the research.
So it is to provide you with some comfort and relief. Okay, thank you.
All right,
Oh,
thank you
then I'm
so
going to be
much.
buying big shoes these days.
Thank you
because
so
of this
much,
hack.
Mama Zip,
Yeah.
for that hack. You know where to find her. TikTok. She's all over.
And
loud,
Instagram,
loud,
Zipporah
loud.
Osei-Boateng.
Yeah, and Instagram. Lady A, thanks for, as usual, sharing your experience.
Mama
and
the
my
mama.
troublesome duck
That's
here.
right.
Dr. Kelly.
Dr. Kelly Daniels. Say hi to your fans and then.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching. Dr. Kelly Daniels here for all the counseling issues and things that worry you. Just reach out on Kelly Daniels Office on Instagram. Kelly Daniels Office on Instagram. Of course, on TikTok too, I'm also Dr. Kelly Daniels. Dr. Kelly Daniels on both Instagram and
Your dresses.
and TikTok.
Yeah, Lady A, you didn't give shout out.
Yeah, today
Shout out.
I'm comfortably styled by my young stitches, and my wig is from Glamour Hair. And our makeup, you find a handle on our screen, and so yeah, you can hook them up, and they will be happy to sort you out.
Zip.
My beautiful outfit, this two-piece is from Ohima Shada
Yeah.
Boutique. You can find us on Instagram. Please follow us and shop with us. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and I'm slaying in Latayo. That's my sister's
Your
brand.
sister's brand.
And it's so beautiful. You can get it from her. Just
Silky
go
and
and
nice.
follow me and follow her, Latayo, on social media.
All right.
Okay,
That's
all
a
handles.
wrap.
So that's it. It's a wrap. We'll be back again same time with all the energy and excitement right here on The Opinion. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.